rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I'd like to start out by thanking everyone for being able to come to this second meeting of the week. What kind of kicked this whole thing off was that the planning board approved recommending the release of some security on one of the I can't think of the word now. Subdivisions that is going on in town. Did either one of you have any questions? I know Jason, you were in the audience that night and kind of got to see a little bit of the conversation, but I didn't know if you needed any additional background. Lou, you had a question?
Yeah, what's going on with this? I mean, if you were in the audience, can you give me a quick summary of?
Well, I wasn't in the audience. I was,
you were ex officio.
Yeah, but Jason came in
right,
with the cemeteries. Yep. So what it is that Andy Crook, is nearing completion of that project, and he asked for release of partial of the security. So it is typical, to do the partial releases as you go.
Yep.
And right now, that road has already wintered over. We already did all the core sampling last year. Everything looks good with it. And we're looking to release $252,123.82 of $292,123.82. So it's holding $40,000 additional dollars. So that's included in that was the guardrails, which are already up, but they're not on the as-built yet.
So that would be on Craven Road, not Kennebec
On Craven's Way, yeah. So it's Craven's Way and Kennebec Court. Kennebec Court's pretty much, all done. Like as far as the road is concerned, the only thing that was left over was some of the vegetation on the slopes. Doesn't seem to be taking for one reason or another. So between the guardrails and the vegetation were the two major aspects. What's kind of being wrapped into it also is making sure that transference of deeds goes the way that it should go. So that last 40,000 is not going to be released until everything's done. All the paperwork's done, all the infrastructure stuff's completely done, all the as-built are done. Yeah.
Is this the last phase of the original Craven development?
I believe so, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So should be quiet out there for a while.
Don't say that out loud.
Right?
Yeah, so is the only thing left on Craven's Way just the guardrails?
The guardrails are up. They're just not on the as-builts. The stop signs are up. They're just not on the as-builts yet.
Speed bumps up?
There's no speed bumps. There's not going to be any speed bumps.
So when did that get pulled from the project?
I don't recall it being a part of the project at all.
It's on the drawing.
Really?
Yeah, the speed bumps aren't anything that's been spoken about or.
They're on the drawing.
No, that's fine. Like if you feel that you saw a speed bump somewhere on drawings, but I'm just letting you know that hasn't been a part of any of the conversation whatsoever. Speed bumps.
Do you feel like the 40,000 would be enough to cover in the event that?
Oh, I'm sure, but I haven't taken a drive down that road to see what kind of condition it's in. I know that there was some issues with when not on the end from Kennebec Court, but on the other end, it was the last lot had a very steep slope going into the water runoff area, and we didn't know. It didn't seem, at least at the time that I was there, it didn't seem like it had enough erosion control built into it. I don't know what may have been done.
Yeah,
Since
and I
then.
have no knowledge of any of this. I just sat in on this discussion, so.
Yeah, I was on
Yeah.
the planning board during the whole
Yeah.
time that this thing was coming up. So, you know, and there was one time we were doing a walkthrough, were you with us?
Not for Kennebec,
No, for Craven's Way,
no,
just at the time that they were starting to do
no.
okay.
I wasn't in there then,
Okay.
must have been Jen maybe.
You should take a ride up, you know, I don't know when the last time that you've been up it was, but have you been there since it's been
quite a
paved
while,
or?
yeah. I think it would have been last fall.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it's fully constructed now,
Yeah, the blacktop was just being put down at that time.
okay, yeah. Alright. Any other questions or anything?
No, it was just, I was just wondering where the project was.
Yep.
You know, I didn't see any detail here about what they were holding that $40,000 for.
Yeah, that's what it was, you know, even though the guardrails are done, like I said, they're not in the as-built, and I think there's just that paperwork aspect that the planning board wants to really make sure gets done,
Mhm.
correctly before they, you know, release the
Before they
last
release it.
amount, yep. So at this point, I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the planning board to release $252,123.82 of the $292,123.82 of the Kennebec security to APK Real Estate LLC. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
I'll say aye.
Okay. So, motion passes unanimously.
So I will, let accounting know.
Yep.
So they can cut a check.
Yeah, and would they have to hold it until we sign off on the run Tuesday night, or could that be released Monday, since we approved its printing today?
I can ask them.
Alright. So, next on the list, PD
Yeah.
bond discussion.
Yeah, so since our last meeting, I was pressing the board to see if we can wiggle around the bond. Since that meeting, I've talked with both the landlord and several contractors. And they were saying, no, it's cheap enough, you should go with the performance bond. And so I noticed some reluctance on your part
Yeah.
to be wiggling around, so I'd like to have the board make it official. I can tell the two remaining contractors to include it in
Okay.
the final pricing.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I think that's some rules are in place for a good reason, but yeah, so I appreciate that reconsideration. So do you wanna make a motion or?
Make a motion to direct Selectman Somro
No.
to
Well, no, you can talk to them. I didn't know if you
Yeah.
needed like a vote. I don't think you need a vote
I've
of the
already
board
made
to-
both of them aware that this is probably coming. But I want the board to be on board with the whole process, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't wanna.
No, I believe that's the right thing to go ahead
It's
with the
the right
bond.
thing. It's the right
Yeah.
thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't need to vote on it. I don't, cause it's a part of the official
Yeah.
rules and guidelines anyway, so, yeah.
Well, was it actually put into the bid that a performance bond would be
No.
required?
And I was asked that, and I said, don't include it now because it's not in the scope. I feel like the other two bids were far enough outside of that range that it wouldn't significantly impact.
Then
So,
would you consider then just adding the requirement of a performance bond
that's what
to the quote?
I'm looking to do. Yeah.
Okay.
And it sounds like you two would be quite happy with that.
Yes, yeah, I'd feel better.
Is that,
If you make the motion to
Yeah.
modify the bid, sure.
yeah, well, we don't really have an official bid form. It's,
No, but you put the,
yeah.
So all I has to do
Go-
is
we had a bid.
Sean, go ahead and
description.
make a motion, let's do it.
make a motion to require a performance bond on the proposed PD renovation bids. Is there
I'll
a second?
that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Better
Alright.
just to have it in writing.
Yeah, and it will be a part of the contract, once we have
Alright, and then
finalized stuff done.
also there's another note on this, the FAC is ready to give us another update. And they're wondering whether or not we wanted to go to their meeting or have them come to our meeting.
I was going to ask about that, cause I saw on their agenda that there's some comment there about meeting with us for an update.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be opposed to meeting with them, you know, just to kinda, like, to go to their meeting.
And that'd be Monday, right?
I don't know if they'd be ready
So-
this Monday or,
Nope, they're not gonna be ready this Monday, which is the 24th. They're canceling the 31st because it's Halloween. So it would be November 7th.
okay,
They said they could possibly be ready by then.
That's day before elections.
yeah, so we won't have our meeting on the 2nd anyways.
Right.
So if we wanna get that update sooner, I guess that leaves us that option of, only option of going to theirs if we wanted it a week sooner.
Yeah, and I told him that, you know, that I said, you guys won't be having your meeting on the 8th because of the election. And he's like, oh, so he preferred the 7th, then rather than waiting another
Yeah.
week.
So we go to their meeting on the first,
No,
No,
on the
this-
7th.
7th,
on the seventh, okay.
and they meet at
What
5.
time do they meet at? 5?
5.
I'm sorry, what?
They meet at 5 o'clock, their meetings start,
On Mondays.
On Monday the seventh,
yeah.
fine.
You good with that, Jay?
Yeah,
Alright,
I mean, I'd prefer if it was on a Tuesday.
yeah,
I think this week was one or two meetings every day.
yeah, yeah,
You're probably going to be pretty busy on Tuesday.
I know,
Oh, we're not even having a
Election
meeting,
day.
so.
yeah.
Alright,
alright,
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll let Dennis know that we'll go to their meeting Monday the 7th at 5 p.m.
Yep.
Cool.
yeah, and you'll probably have to just put out like a one line,
Yep.
thing
Agenda.
for, agenda for ours,
which they have their meetings in this room anyway, right?
Correct. And
Yeah.
they're videoed.
Okay.
We get to sit in the audience this time?
No, because we're going as a board. I mean, I guess you can.
yeah. And I like the new agenda, or the updated agenda,
You like that?
yeah,
Oh, I wanna see.
right there,
Oh, it's right. Oh, it's not even.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't give you the agenda.
Yeah,
I didn't
just
give you
wanted
the
to see.
agenda.
yeah, so it has the channel 22
Very nice.
on there,
Live streaming on channel 22.
Is this kind of a paper conservation or tree conservation?
No, I figured there was one thing on the agenda, so I didn't need to waste the trees to purge them all out.
did you make that unilateral and have
Yes.
it, all of them
Yes.
done, okay,
Yep.
perfect,
You already put that in the minutes
what's that?
about that. Or just, that was just conversation.
For the firewalls?
What?
Or the channel 22?
That whole blurb that we talked about it.
Yeah, you can. Good quick work, Debbie.
Thanks. Does that erase one of my red marks?
Yeah. Alright, is there anything else that you gentlemen wanted to speak about, or?
No? If nobody has it, oh, I've got, one other thing is, I am meeting with our, building inspector, code enforcement officer about a, resident complaint on Monday. And we're going to go to the site and take a look at it together.
Okay,
I received, complaint from a resident who wishes to remain anonymous at this point. And I see it as a possible code enforcement issue, so I've asked Jim to look into it.
Alright, so there was a complaint from this, like from a resident against another resident,
Not necessarily.
or a complaint against the building department. I'm trying to understand.
Until we look at it, we won't know exactly what.
Was it a complaint against the building inspector, or,
No, not at all.
okay,
Not at
is it something that he's wrapped up in right now, or,
all. No, not
Okay.
at all.
interesting,
Cryptic.
right?
You can't know everything, Joe.
No, no, I'm just trying to gauge, cause the way that you had said it, it almost sounded like someone had an issue with the services provided by the building inspector,
No.
is the way I initially took it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just kidding.
Yeah. Cool,
Okay.
with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Woo-hoo.